Welcome to the Eric T Conversation. I'm Eric T. Have you ever binge watched a show so much at one time that you go to sleep that night and you dream that you're in the show? I've done that. I just recently did that. The shows I did it before with were Breaking Bad. Now, Breaking Bad was so good for me that I got really into it. So it would be 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and you're like, oh, let me just do one more. Oh, let me just do one more. Next thing you know, it's 1:30 in the morning. You got to close it out and go to bed. But yet your brain just finished watching an episode of Breaking Bad. So when you go to bed that night, you're like in the show. I would dream that I'm in the show. I'm hanging out with Mr. White. I'm selling meth. I'm doing all this crazy stuff. I'm like trying to get away from the cartels. It started happening for like a week straight. Every time I went to bed, I'm like, oh God, I'm going to dream about being in the show. And then I started watching The Last Kingdom. It's like a Viking show. And the main character guy, his name is Uhtred. I was like Uhtred's best friend. Him and I were hanging out, horseback riding. It's a great series. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. But I'm hanging out. I'm with him when he's like, killing these other Vikings and the Englishmen. I got so intertwined into these series because I was watching them over and over again. And I would continue into the rest of the night that I couldn't shut my brain off. So when I went to bed, my brain's like, hey, this is a great series. Let's keep this going. So I would go up at night, wake up in the morning like, shit. I felt like I just rode horseback and was fighting with swords. But it's awesome. Binging is awesome. It's awesome. Everybody does it now. When you talk to your friends, you're always like, hey, man, what are you watching? Always, right? Every time you get with your friends, you always talk about what series you're watching, what's something new to watch. Everybody has recommendations now. Remember the day when you used to have to wait a whole week for the new show to come out? Not anymore. Now you get all 10 episodes at one pop. And it's one after another, one after another, one after another, all night long. You could crush one on a Saturday afternoon if you want, if you're really dedicated. And sometimes I'm really dedicated and I want to stop. Now you can just keep watching and watching. So I binge quite a lot of shows. I watch so much sometimes. I got friends like, hey man, you should watch this. I'm like, dude, I've already seen it. I saw it like 6 months ago. A movie? Oh, I've done that. I've watched that movie already. I got a lot of free time on my hands. Why do you think I'm doing this now? I started running out of stuff to do. So anyway, I enjoy binging, but sometimes you got to learn to cut it off at night because if you don't, you'll end up being in the episode. And that's weird. That's kind of weird. Anyway, that's my observation of the day. Now for the conversation. A lot of cool things have happened today. Happy January 6th day, our 4th anniversary of that. Pretty awesome. Yeah, okay. And Congress, without a hitch, went ahead and certified the election, which we knew they would. People were saying they weren't going to do it. Of course, they were going to do it. And I can't wait for the new administration to get in there. This has been the worst 4 years I've ever witnessed. Absolute worst. I don't care what you have to say. I own another business. And the last probably 3.5 years, it's decimated my other company that I run. And I survived 2008 in Florida where the housing crash was really bad here in Central Florida. And I survived that. This is nothing compared to that. We've got World of Beer closing in my town. We've got cool places that are in downtown Cocoa that have been around for years. They're shutting down. Restaurants and bars are closing down. It's been detrimental for a lot of people. So I can't wait for the new administration to get in there and things to start happening. Okay? And you can say what you want to say, love or hate them. This world needs a guy with some cojones and it's not going to take guff from anybody. That's what we need. We don't need a friend here in the United States. If you think the president of the United States needs to be your friend, you're wrong. I don't want a leader to be my friend. I want a leader to come in here and get stuff done. Look what happened just a few weeks ago. He met with the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau at Mar-a-Lago. And Justin Trudeau was saying, hey, man, you got to chill out with some of these tariffs. You're going to kill, Canadian economy and all this. He said, hey, listen, if you got a problem with that, you can come and join the United States as a 51st state. You won't have to pay any taxes. Your taxes will be lower. We can have all those resources over there in Canada, all that vast land that you have, drilling for oil. And then what happens? Today he resigns. Of course he resigns because he's feeling the pressure. He's been in charge of the Liberal Party over there for 11 years. He's been prime minister for 9. And he felt the heat. There's a lot of infighting over there in Canada. And Justin Trudeau saw the writing on the walls. And now that we got somebody in the United States that's going to be running it with an iron fist and making America first over everything else, he saw the writing on the wall. And so they have the opposition party, Pierre Poilievre, whatever his name is, that's how you say it. I don't know. It's a French name, and I'm not French. So, you know, and during Trudeau's speech, he was kind of saying, well, you know, the opposition party have the wrong answers. They're going to want to get out of the climate accords. They want to like calm down with the border and get people, all the immigrants coming in here and kind of chill that a little bit. Yeah, they do, because they all see it. But nobody wants to say anything because everybody's afraid to get canceled or, you know, get people showing up at their house with bullhorns and rioting and picketing in front of their property. So everybody has no guts. Now we've got somebody with big guts, and it's going to spill over to the rest of the world. Thank goodness. Now, the R country and the C country, they got their own things of what they want to do. They all want to be superpowers, but they know deep inside, the United States is the bully and is the big man in the yard, right? The United States is a shot caller in prison. That's who we are. And now that we got the real shot caller in there, things are going to get a lot better real quick. So that's good. I'm very excited about that. We got 14 more days until he takes office. Oh, man, it's going to be one heck of a celebration. We should all have the day off that day. We should all take the day off because, you know, I'm not going to be able to concentrate. I can't wait till he starts signing executive orders like they're BOGOs. BOGOs, baby. See what he's doing this. Cryptocurrency is going to go through the roof. Can't wait for that. He's pro-crypto. We're going to do a show on that tomorrow about cryptos. He's going to be signing executive orders for that stuff. Executive orders shut down the border. Executive orders digging for oil. And you're just going to see those gas prices just tick, 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 start ticking down. And yeah, you can bitch all you want about the environment and all that. But you start filling up your Suburban for $12, yeah, we can overlook some things over there. And listen, oil drilling is a lot safer than it used to be. It's not as risky as it is. And the environmentalists just like to bitch and moan about it because that's all they got. That's all they got, to bitch and moan about oil. It's a natural resource. Okay? God put it here, right? So why can't we utilize it? And we're not going to go to 100% EV. We're nowhere near that. And we're probably 20 years away from total EV, electric vehicles. And listen, we even had those in the early 1900s, electric cars. Didn't really work back then either because, you know, all the digging and stuff they got to use to get these batteries. So until they figure that all out and make that more environmentally friendly, you're not going to see it. You're just not going to see it. And other bad news today, we got Mayor Giuliani, America's mayor, he's got in contempt of court because he, you know, when in 2020, when he was head of Trump's kind of legal team going after the you know, election stuff, he, you know, went after two people who allegedly pulled out two suitcases and started pulling out some paper things and started rerunning them. He accused them of doing some stuff. They sued him for like $73 million. He had to sell his property. He had to sell his like 1980 Mercedes that he had. He's just getting ran over, man. Just getting ran over with this. And apparently he's in contempt because he didn't supply some other documentation or for them. So he was hit with that today. The guy's 80 years old, man. He's 80 years old. And they're just, poor guy. Such a fall from grace. But he was doing the right thing. I believe he was doing the right thing. And he fought, you know, for the American people. And I think in time, we're going to find out that he was right about everything. And things are going to come out in the next few years. And you're going to know it was all true. Hopefully he's still around when that happens. We're going to find out the absolute truth about all of these things. Okay. Big one, you know, January 6th today. You're going to find out that that three-letter agency had dozens of these individuals on buses with red hats, red, white, and blue shirts that said, you know, M and an A on the end. They had them out there infiltrating the people out there. That's a fact that actually happened. Spinning people up. It only takes one person to spit up a mob. Only one. And that's what they were there for. And that's what they were there to do. So, a lot of these things in the news right now, a lot of things going on. 14 more days. Hopefully things get back on track. If you're with me on that, great. If you're not, so what? I suggest you do some more research. If you're not with us on it, do some research. He's not as bad as everybody says he is. He's not. Loves our country, and he's going to make things better. He's got the right people in place. Senate's going to push them through hopefully quickly. And if not, we're going to primary their asses thanks to Elon Musk. So let's get things going. Let's hope there's a little bit better coming on of the new year. And join me next time for a little chit chat, some observation, and some good old fashioned conversation.